Hey guys, it's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been following along, this is the 5th in my Honda Civic Type R Spring Racing Season series that I've been sharing with you guys as I want to share my experience with the Civic Type R, getting ready for grid life, going to Pocono, and all those good things. So I've tested out the wheels and tires, I've talked about those, spoke about the brake pads, and now I think the biggest change that I made to the driving dynamics of this car was actually turning off traction control fully. Turning traction control off fully is, a little bit dangerous, and this does lead to some problems later on, which we'll talk about. But it makes you, if you're good with the car, much faster. The car tends to slide around, it tends to get more exit speed and entry speed, and the rear brake pads and brakes don't get used up as much. So let's get some more track footage of the Civic Type R at Pocono. Again, this is the third and last session where I turn off traction control fully. So I press the traction control button for about 10 seconds in plus R mode, and what that does is completely deactivates it. If you're not in plus R mode when you press that button for about 10 seconds, you will not completely deactivate it. I did, and man, I loved the reaction of the car, and I did really well. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let me know what you think in the comments.
So here we go, guys. I've covered this before, but the quick list of modifications: I have K-Tuner Stage 1 tune. Tuner view will pop in here in a second. I have a second camera it will be seeing as well. I have Federal 595's RSRR 200 treadwear tires on Koenig 18 by 9.5 plus 35mm outside wheels. Very, very good wheels. I have a little bit of an extra negative camber from a camber trick that I did to the Type R. And in this video, we'll be talking about the fact that I turned off all traction control fully. Now, unless you're at the track, I don't recommend turning traction control off. On the street, turning traction control off is honestly not the smartest thing to do in the world. I would leave that on, put it in plus R mode, and leave it at that. But at the track, there are some benefits that you will see. Initially, you'll see me test out the waters. I'm not going to go too crazy. I want to see how that car reacts. This is a front-wheel drive car that likes to make its tail wag. By that, what I mean is, it is a very tail-heavy car. It likes to get that back end nice and loose, which makes it a car that's really fun to drive. And actually, one of the best things about the Type R, the fact that the back end does want to come around on you on fast turns. Turning off the traction control makes that even better, and you could actually get much faster lap times with having the traction control off. So, quick reminder, after this we go to Summit Point, and it's going to be quite an exciting time. I have a lot more to cover, so go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Make sure to leave a like on there if you like the video, and let me know what you think in the comments. Let's have some fun, guys. So one thing you can hear is the tires are definitely kind of heat soaked, and they're squealing a lot, and that means they're a little bit greasy, they're a little bit slippery, they're not gripping quite as well as they used to, and that definitely plays into what happened to me in the Type R at Summit Point Raceway. As you saw there, it loses traction in second gear when you floor it with traction control completely off. It's something that if you're used to traction control, you kind of have to get used to. I get used to it pretty quickly. You kind of feel out where your traction is. You have to learn how to feather the throttle to get the most out of your front wheel drive car. In a rear wheel drive car, it would spin in that situation if the rear wheels were overpowered. But more than likely, in that situation, since the weight is transferred to the back, you'll be able to exit corners much faster. That's the advantage of a rear-wheel drive car. A front-wheel drive car, you have to be more careful, as understeer is the name of the game. That really is the main difference between front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. In rear-wheel drive, you can power out of corners much faster than in front-wheel drive, due to the fact that when you're accelerating, the weight gets transferred to the back, And when your weight is transferred to the back, you get extra traction in the rear tires, leading to better traction and faster speeds. As you notice there, the back end did want to come out a little bit, which is perfect. The car is very well balanced, and turning off traction control allows the back end to come out a little bit more, and it's actually the faster way around the corner. It actually makes the car point in the correct direction as you exit out of it. It's perfect. So most noticeable to me is how much faster I'm going pretty much everywhere on the track due to traction control being off. Traction control likes to pull timing, it likes to, you know, not allow you to accelerate fully. It really dampens everything down to try to protect you, which is good, but not when you're trying to go as fast as possible. So that's basically the main point that I wanted to make about this traction control video. Turning it off is going to make you faster, but don't make any mistakes, because without the traction control, your mistakes cannot be corrected by anyone else except for you. With traction control, you've got at least a little bit of help coming from the car. Now where it gets really interesting is through the bumpy curves here. Traction control is not there to help you, so the car slides out a lot more than what I'm used to through these curves. Anything that resembles a bump on a track will send this car more sideways than you'd expect. Again, something else that plays into what happened to me at Summit Point. Something to keep in mind if you take your car out on the track and turn off the traction control. If it's a very bumpy track, consider leaving it on. The car gets any car gets unsettled on a bumpy track, so it's not just the Type R's fault, but just something to keep in mind. Just if you're going to take the traction control off, make sure that while you're in the bumpy sections, you're not pushing it too hard, or you will go sideways. As a quick side note here, I'm loving the new shift knob and the Acuity pedal spacer. So good. It makes it very comfortable to drive this car and the track. I'm loving the coning wheels. I'm loving everything about the car. The tires are the only thing a little bit of a letdown, but at $100 a pop, probably the best value tire that you can find out there. As you can see there, I hit about 100 miles an hour. That's what my goal was when I started my Pocono track day. I wanted to hit 100 miles an hour through those curves. I couldn't do it with traction control on. As the car started jumping, the car kind of gets freaked out and starts applying the brakes. With traction control off, I was able to fully send it and hit 100 miles an hour through there. Very, very happy with that outcome. And yeah, the car is very good. As you can see there as well, after a few good hot laps, the car just really, the tires get really greasy, they get really hot. The engine gets to start heat soaking, so it's not quite as fast. But I mean, the car still does really, really well. It's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to be hot lapping, it doesn't react too well with the heat, so just keep that in mind. So as I pass this Porsche 911, you can see that I've learned how to feather the accelerator right there in that exit corner, and the car did really well. So again, very balanced, very good car. Here comes a very fast Corvette Zo6 coming up. Very, very fast for sure. But yeah, the car does very, very well. I catch up to this guy. He's a very good driver, by the way. Catch up to him very well at these curves. I'm jumping around. Kind of gets away from me a little bit, and then he's gone. But yeah, besides the tires, I'm very, very happy with how the car was feeling at this point. Having the traction control off was a benefit to the driving characteristics of the car. car, not a detriment. So if you're thinking about turning off the traction control in your Civic Type R and you're at the track, I recommend doing it. If you're not at the track, leave traction control on for God's sake. You do not need to be turning off traction control outside of a racetrack. There's no need. Traction control is very good at what it does. So unless you're chasing the fastest lap times, leave traction control on. If you're chasing the fastest lap times, traction control off does help if you know what you're doing. Obviously, I've had a lot of different track days. I've raced a lot of different autocrosses and Prelude, a little bit in the S2000, and now in the Type R. I've got quite a bit of experience, so just keep that in mind as you go forward. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.